So, the cat's finally out of the bag. Quite literally. The third promotional video for Persona 5 was just released today during the Tokyo Game Show convention. And out of all the trailers we received, this one is without a doubt the largest so far. And as a result, there is a lot to talk about, so let's begin. The trailer starts off with our crew apparently fleeing the scene in a frantic fashion based on their dialogue, stating, "This isn't good and let's get out of here." Then boom! Straight off the bat we have a huge pyramid and our protagonists are running down it before it crumbles. Apparently a trap has been triggered and they have to leave now. As they run down, Anne screams that they need a getaway car and flings Morgana into the sky. First off, animal abuse is not cool, okay. And secondly, what is going on here exactly? The initial shock from this opening is, well, interesting to say the least. Is this actual Egypt or just some giant pyramid in the middle of Tokyo? I guess we'll find out later. Because there's no time to explain, we have 3 minutes and 15 seconds to blow your mind, so here we go. Bang, there's your overworld. It's actually a world now. Unlike previous games, we actually have an environment to freely explore. That's crazy. These areas are massive, so large in fact that we need a mini-map just to help us navigate them. Speaking of this map, it can actually help and tell us what types of things we may be able to do in this new setting. Here we see a movie theater icon, a shopping area, a batting cage, a vending machine icon, and a coffee shop. There seems to be a recycling center icon, which might be where we go to turn in our materials and get some cash. We can even see that there are other locations to visit. As shown here, we have a dartboard that is separate from the other location. What the dartboard is precisely, it's hard to say. It could possibly be our headquarters, or maybe just a random bar. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But before we move on, I'd like to mention these city streets for a moment. They are flooded with NPCs, quite literally. We can hear them say things like, "Another accident happened recently," and I get goosebumps when I hear about them. So it appears information can be gathered by eavesdropping on our fellow pedestrians, which is a really cool way of delivering information now that I think about it. After that, we get to see the inside of Shujin High School, where I have no doubt we'll be spending a lot of time, and man, it's big. Which, well, makes sense because it's a school in the city and all, but man, I just can't believe how large it is. It's so big, in fact, it also needs its own mini-map, and our character needs to sprint just to get from class to class from the looks of it. Some of the NPCs are really modeled here opposed to those that we see in the city, and honestly, they look really, really nice. Next up in the trailer though, Anne adds us to one of those annoying group chats where someone just says one word and then sends the text instead of just typing it all out and sending just one. Please stop doing that for the love of God, people. But no, it appears, yes, cell phones will be used to communicate with our fellow party members. Anne asks in the first message, "What do you guys want to do today?" Then, "Wanna do the thing?" And then Ryuji replies, "You bet." And following that scene, we have another where our characters see that their school has been transformed into the palace, a world that has been created because of people's warped desires, Morgana explains. And naturally, our two characters are stupid enough to go inside the giant castle that just appears out of nowhere. No, I'm just kidding. They probably have a good reason to go inside if they're come to think of it. So it's pretty safe to assume that this place will be our main dungeon for Persona 5, in a similar fashion to Persona 3's Tartarus. More on that later though, because oh my god, the train is bleeding! We unfortunately don't have time to question why that is because we are immediately arrested and now being interrogated by someone from the looks of it. The interrogator then asks, "Now tell me, how did you steal the hearts of others? Then answer me." Is this room located inside of this palace, or is it an actual police facility? The bruises on our main character's hands and face could have been done prior to his capturing, and not done by this woman asking him all these questions. The reason I say this is because I think the trailer wants you to think he was harmed during this interview, but that seems almost too straightforward to me for some reason. This scene really confuses me for a lot of reasons, but I suppose looking too much into it right now would kind of be pointless, so let's move on. Next up, it seems Morgana is introduced to Ryuji and our hero for the first time as she shows off her persona, Zoro. This is the first persona other than Asen that we have seen so far. And can I just be the first to say, wow, it looks sick. He's got his rapier, he has these huge cartoony arms and a giant belt with a Z on it. But yeah, let's not forget his giant mustache too. I can tell that Atlus really had a lot of fun with the design for this guy, and I think it's a great persona for our feline ally. But this scene also has a couple of other interesting points to it, like this border around the screen. It's in a similar fashion to the static that appeared when we entered the TV world in Persona 4. But this time around we have an odd turquoise and purple effect around the screen. Kind of reminds me a bit of a kaleidoscope really, as it moves around just a tiny little bit. Seemingly unimportant you may say, but it seems like this only shows up when we venture into the palace, as this is the first scene in which it shows up. After that we somehow caught a virus on our phone. God dang it, Apple. But no, really. Our hero's phone says it's beginning its GPS when all of a sudden this image appears on his phone blocking his surroundings. Why or what is going on here? Well, that remains relatively unknown. Perhaps we will find out through exploring the palace why people's cell phones are getting attacked by giant red eyeballs. Moving on from that, though, we get a taste of the nightlife of the city and a shot of our heroes breaking into the palace from the rooftops. And then this lady gets attacked by someone. Well, that's an unpleasant sight. Let's hope the Phantom stops that from happening. Moving on. After almost getting triggered, we get a look at the building that looks a bit different than the palace. Translations tell us that this is an art museum and it has a bunch of people gathered outside of it that we obviously need to avoid noticing us. Interestingly enough, this seems to be outside of the palace, yet there is that blue and purple border surrounding the screen. So maybe it just shows up when you have your mask on. But presumably inside of the museum we encounter these paintings that we literally jump into. Reminds me of... Sorry, I just had to draw that comparison there. But this power that we somehow have access to could be related to that opening shot of the pyramid, as maybe other dungeons are held inside of this art museum, and we jump into paintings to access them, or something of that nature. Whatever the case may be, now we get to see Anne and Ryuji's personas at long last. After awakening, Anne summons a rather shapely looking baroness with pigtails, smoking a cigar, and wielding what appears to be a box of heart-shaped chocolates. Who is she? Heck if I know, but she is styling! I love this design. It is incredibly fitting persona for Anne, in my opinion. But even better, next up is Ryuji Sakamoto summoning the swashbuckler of the seven seas. Long John Silver comes in riding his goddamn pirate ship like a skateboard. Morgana's persona is cool and it's cute, but Ryuji's, man, what the heck? Literally the best thing ever. So far, anyway. He even has a cannon arm and everything. Maybe he specializes in gun skills or something of that nature, or hey, maybe water skills are making a comeback. It's hard to say, but man, I just cannot even put into words how happy I am. We finally get to see our fellow party members' personas, and they look outstanding, and I just honestly can't wait to see how the official artwork looks. Now, keep in mind, yeah, it's not Long John Silver, it's not Zoro. The official names have not been released yet. These are just my speculations on what these personas could be based on. But no, Atlus isn't done yet. One more, boys. The secretive character seen briefly in past trailers is shown off here. And now, donning his fox mask, summons the legendary Goemon to destroy opposing shadows. We don't get to see a really good look at this persona, but man, he looks amazing. Now, it isn't confirmed to be Goemon, but I mean, come on, how can't that be him? The paint roller guy we saw in the second promotional video is looking to be our 5th party member. And it may just be the music during the trailer, but I was literally on the edge of my seat when I saw this guy show up. Ever since 2015 started, I have been wondering who the man in the fox mask was, and today we finally know who he is. Well, we don't know who he is exactly, but we do now know that to summon our personas in battle, it seems we will be ripping off our mask violently to attack this time around. So that bit of confirmation is nice. Then, moments later, we see a random fire formation, which seems to be some kind of follow-up attack that is separate from the all-out attack. Our heroes spray and pray onto 2 legions and a Mott, and you can see that the hearts of our foes function as a pseudo HP bar, which I think is a really cool touch that I somehow haven't noticed until the 3rd trailer. Moving to the next part. Now that those rogue personas have been destroyed, we take a look at a very different dungeon layout than what we've seen before. Instead of a casino, or the ancient castle as we now know it as, we see a futuristic environment called the Cosmic Starland. With metal floors and all, it looks very, very different. What exactly is this place, and how does it relate to the palace? Is it possible this is just the second, block of the palace, and just the castle was the first one? It's difficult to say, but it excites me a lot because it shows that they have some extremely varied environments this time around, and the dungeons can be really interactive compared to past entries. Next up, we get a sneak peek at what our adversaries could be this time around, as one man seems to be crying black blood. Perhaps he's ripping off his mask in a similar fashion to our heroes, but unlike our heroes, this man seems to be turning into sort of a fly monster. Beelzebub? Then we have a painting monster that we really don't get to see a lot of, and last but not least, this guy, whatever the heck he is. My guess is the character represents lust or just a regal king in general, as he fights with eating utensils, and in the background you see some feminine looking busts. I am so happy with these new models, and why does he just get up all of a sudden and spike us with a volleyball bomb? Alright, random, but it looks really, really cool, and he makes me wonder if the bosses will be based off the 7 deadly sins. Beelzebub was surrounded by a bunch of dollar bills, so maybe he represents greed. And the painting monster, once we see more of it, could easily represent pride. Just something I thought I'd bring up. Following that, we get a close-up shot of all of our masked heroes, and Ryuji seems to be stuck in a sandstorm. Maybe he's back in Egypt. Maybe Stardust Crusaders crossover. Maybe Dio Secret Boss. Okay, stop. Next up, we get a bit of a controversial segment showing our 4 party members as mice sneaking around in the shadows. And this began to worry a lot of people for some reason. People think that Persona 5 will be a stealth RPG with no social links, and anytime they see the slightest bit of sneaking content, they get upset for some reason. These clips pretty much confirm that yes, there will be stealth sections in the new game, but I doubt they will be that intrusive. So please guys, don't freak out. I do not think they are going to focus that much on the stealth aspect, to where the rest of the game will suffer. But yes, it will be incorporated into the gameplay in some way, because during an interview with the director, they did show off some of the hiding mechanics. And all I'm saying is, go into the dungeons with an open mind, and who knows, you may enjoy running from giant Indiana Jones balls. Speaking of balls, I love them baseballs. There's baseball minigame. Yeah. There's also a training minigame, which the purpose is not confirmed as of yet, but I think this could be a way to level up our personas outside of the palace, like in the arcade in Persona 3. We can't explore the palace every day now, can we? But training is very important. And there's also a third minigame that was shown off outside of the trailer, where we apparently just mash circle a whole lot, and somehow Morgana is involved. I don't really know what's up with this one, but I'm sure it has something to do with our progression. Then we get a new persona, as we can see Ganesha being caught like a goddamn Pokemon and being absorbed into a mask. Either this will be our demon negotiation, or we just weaken it a bit and then command it to turn into a mask. It's hard to say, but if you notice, the right tusk of Ganesha is damaged slightly. So maybe there is some sort of capture process in place, opposed to the almost completely random negotiation system of the mainline games. But I do like the fact that our personas this time around are literally masks. And yes, like in prior games, we will be using many personas throughout our journey. Let's just hope though that Asen doesn't become obsolete after the first dungeon. And last but not least, we get to see an in-engine cutscene of the main character, using one of Asen's chains to whip whoever was watching this video. And that's all we got. See you guys in the next video. Bye. Wait, no, I was just joking, come back. The trailer actually ends on a very different note than what we are used to seeing. The beginning was all amped up and full of energy, but towards the end we see our cast of characters looking quite depressed actually. Our painter friend looks like he's on the verge of tears, and we can even hear Ryuji crying. I doubt they're this upset over this random dead police officer from the looks of things. I'm going to assume this is later on during the game, perhaps at a climax, as the tone is completely different than in the beginning, and is even saying things like, my memories and feelings. If only they could all just disappear, and Ryuji even says, no, I don't want to die. So some crap is going down in this game. What it is, we still don't know. But the line from Anne, "We will steal all that there is to you," makes me think that somehow towards the end of our story, our heroes have finally been caught, and Anne's dialogue plus the fact that these people are shown having signs saying God will punish you for your sins makes me think that the catastrophic events that occur during our story are somehow being pinned on our heroes. Just a theory mine, but it would give a lot more context to the scene if that was the case. Then the final shot of this trailer is our hero giving the devilish smirk as it fades to black. Man, what a way to end it. And that's it. There's nothing else to report on. It just shows the voice actors' names. Persona 5 will be out. God dang, come on, no! That was pretty much my genuine reaction to seeing this sad announcement. Yes, as of today, Persona 5 will be delayed again to the summer of 2016. I will have a video talking about why this may be later on, but for right now, I will just say, yeah, it sucks, but hey, I'm sure they have a good reason to do it. Regardless, this trailer was the hypiest we have seen yet, showing off so much more than I was even hoping for. We got to see our overworld, we got to see our allies' personas, and we even got to see some possible boss fights. But now I'd like to focus on some aspects that we didn't see in this trailer. We still have not seen any social links at all. And well, to be fair, they aren't the most trailer-worthy aspect of the game, but I'm starting to get a bit worried personally. The lead director of Persona 5, Katsura Hoshino, did state, however, that Persona 5 will have more content than any other game Atlus has ever produced. So assuming that that is true, either the Palace will have 140 hours of content, or we just got indirect confirmation that social links are back. As we did see some lovely Shingenori Sojima artwork for the Velvet Twins during part of the countdown. So if I had to bet on it, yeah, I do think social links are coming back. Also, during the interview with the directors, we did see some interesting HUD pieces, such as this percentage icon that goes up and down during gameplay segments. What this is a complete mystery, but it does sort of look like the boss character from the trailer is being shown on the top. It's hard to say what mechanic this is attached to, but I like the idea that maybe if it reaches 100% you fail your heist. Just an idea of mine, but yeah, I'm really loving the dungeons. They look extremely promising. And last but not least, let's talk about the blurred numbers on the delay announcement. The numbers 0, 1, 3, 4, the letters U, M, E, and both P's on the PlayStation 3 and 4 are all blurred. What this means, yet again, I know this is an analysis, but I have no idea, but it makes me extremely excited for some future news once we figure out what this code means. It could be nothing at all, but the way Atlus operates with their symbolism, come on, it has to mean something, right? I'm not crazy. The reason that I think it could actually be a code for something is because something crazy is apparently still on the way for Persona 5, as the TGS countdown is still going on and ends this Saturday. What will the big announcement be? I have no idea, but I don't see how they could possibly top this big of an announcement. Like, seriously, what Persona-related announcement could top a brand new trailer? I got nothing personally. Also, keep in mind, later this month, on the 24th, we have a new Famitsu with a Persona 5 cover art, and another interview with the lead director for the game. So there is going to be a lot of new information on top of what we just received today for Persona 5. I hope you were all as excited as I am. Let's hope we get something cool Saturday! Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I will be reporting on any new information we receive from Atlus on this channel, so if you want to keep up to date with any Persona 5 news, make sure to subscribe. And don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed seeing similar videos to this one. The Persona hype train has never been stronger, and something tells me that it won't be stopping anytime soon. Anyways, see you guys in the next Persona 5 video. Bye.